12th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Pele, Yoetz.
Okay, just trying to figure out how to get this, plug this thing in, but all right, let's go on with the show. Okay, so oh, so we look at what we have today. I think we got up to the Pele Yoetz's entry on Eretz Yisrael.
Oh,
Wow. Yes, indeed. Oh boy, he's got 3 pages. Okay, this is going to be very exciting. Let's see what he says. Yeah, what did we say? We said the Pele Yoetz was born in Europe somewhere, Eastern Europe. About 200, we said 200 years ago.
yeah, 1786, it says here.
1786. Oh, where are you looking on in the?
On the back cover of our book, the Pele Yoetz, it gives the dates he lived. Doesn't say where, but I don't think.
Okay.
He wasn't that old when he passed on. Huh. Uh, 34 years old.
Well, he lived from.
Well, if these dates are correct, 1786 to 1828. Unless that's when he wrote this book, maybe. I'll have to maybe look it up on the telephone.
Oh yeah, that could be. That's when he wrote this sefer.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd passed on young. Huh.
Oh. Yeah, in the they translated the introduction.
No, that's when he died. Yeah. 1828 in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. So that's
So let's see when he wrote the book then. If it says
on page 23, he says over here he's writing in 1824.
oh, so he was writing 4 years before his passing. Huh. Okay.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, so who would like to start off the reading of this very exciting section that we have here today? How about Lou? You'd like to start off?
The land of Israel, the precious one of Israel. It is well known that its virtue is extraordinary, as is described in the Holy Zohar and in the other holy books. The individual that is chosen by God will be brought near unto it to see the pleasantness of God and to visit in his sanctuary. Every person's eyes and heart should be directed unto it all of his days. This idea is expressed in the verse, my soul thirsts for the Lord, the living God. Oh, that's our verse.
Samanapshi.
Yeah. When
Tehillim, face.
Right. When shall I come and appear before the Lord? Therefore, a person should strive with all his strength to establish his dwelling in the land of Israel. However, he must open his eyes first to examine closely the idea so that he should not come to regret his earlier decision and be forced to leave. It is recommended that he not go there until his older years, when his wife no longer experiences menses and will not give birth. He should not bring with him sons or daughters. If God granted him wealth, then he may bring with him a daughter who will eventually leave him. But a son, he should not take at all, for then there will be more children, and one does not know what each day will bring. It is true that the air of the land of Israel makes one wise. However, according to what our eyes see, the attaining of one's daily needs is more difficult in the land of Israel. In the majority of cases, people need to leave and grasp a mission related to some mitzvah that takes them out of the country for 10 years or more. A life of pain they endure, and their wives even more so. So great is the travail of constant travel for both the body and the soul, as is well known. This is not the case of those who reside in the diaspora. They find ample provisions in their towns. When an elderly husband and wife emigrate, as is fitting, they will be able to have a good retirement there. Even if they experience a life of difficulty, it will still be considered a good life due to the abundance of all the good in their lives. Wow.
Okay, very interesting.
Amazing advice here.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's very interesting. Okay.
So I don't understand what he's saying is the problem with having children in Israel. Because one does not know what each day will bring.
Sargit Obanim.
Well, that's also in Chutz La'aretz.
Yep.
What's that mean, Tzar Gidl Banim?
Pain of raising children.
I suppose what he means, because he's saying that the parnasa is very difficult, right? He said that the parnasa is very difficult, and people need to leave Eretz Yisrael and go to Chutz La'aretz to in order to raise money for some mission that they're working for, and then they'll get hopefully some portion of that for their services. So that's one way of making a parnasa, which is not a very good way of making a parnasa. And so there, I would assume that for that reason, he said that one shouldn't go there when he has children, because he'll have even a more difficult time supporting them and caring for them in Eretz Yisrael. Whereas he says if he stays in Chutz La'aretz, he says we see that people have parnasa. So
But it's odd that he says if God granted him wealth, he may bring a daughter. I would have thought he'd say, well, if God granted him wealth, then he can bring his whole family.
What he's saying, I think that a son should not take it all, for then there will be more children for him to bring up and support.
Right, but if he's wealthy, what's the problem?
Well, he's saying that if Hashem granted him wealth.
Right, if Hashem granted him wealth, it doesn't say then he should bring the family. It says bring one daughter, but not a son.
And the daughter will eventually leave him.
Yeah, see, because he's saying, you know what he's saying over here? He's saying he can bring a daughter, and the daughter will eventually leave him, meaning to say he won't be responsible for her, supporting her. And so therefore he could do that. A son, he shouldn't take a son because what's going to happen? The son's going to get married, and there's going to be even more children. And I guess the son doesn't go away, and therefore he's gonna end up having to support all of them, because in Eretz Yisrael it's not possible to support oneself. That seems to be what he's saying. He's saying that it's not a, it's he's saying this is what we see. He's saying this is what we see. However, according to what our eyes see, the attaining of one's daily needs is more difficult in the land of Israel. He's not talking about bitachon. He's not talking about emunah. He's saying this is what we see. That's the derech hateva. That's what we see. Those are the statistics. And so, therefore, if you're gonna be take my advice and be cautious and be aware of that, so you will you'll only go there when you don't have anybody to support anymore except yourself and your wife. And I guess how are you going to live like that either if you don't have any parnasa? You have to have money also at that point too.
What about the
Maybe that means if you, yeah, sorry.
What about bitachon and emunah? If it's a mitzvah to go to the land of Israel, why doesn't he say go there? I know it's hard, but have bitachon that Hashem will support you because you're doing a mitzvah.
He's not willing to take responsibility for that. He's a very responsible person. If somebody listens to the life of bitachon and he reads this and he says, "Oh, so the Pele Yoetz is saying you got to go with the statistics. You got to go with the way what your eyes see. You got to go like that." So somebody who has emunah and bitachon will say, "No, I got a different set of rules. I got a different Shulchan Aruch. I don't look at statistics. I don't look at what happens with other people. I know Hashem is able to support me wherever I am," and he goes. But that's not the overwhelming majority of people. Overwhelming majority of people, this is the advice that he gives them, and this is the advice that they need to hear. Even today, this is it's obviously today an issue today. Although today is there's the way the economic system in the world is you don't have to live in the place that you can live anywhere, and you can make parnasa from all sorts of ways. But the truth of the matter is that's only because from the perspective of emunah and bitachon, that's only today we even see that with our eyes. We see it doesn't matter where you live. But back then they didn't see that. So he's reporting what we see, and so that's the that's the that's the advice that that he gives. Everyone has to ask themselves, did they have a Rav or a mentor or somebody who told them, yes, go to Eretz Yisrael and have bitachon? I didn't have that. I was told by all of my rebbeim not to go. There wasn't one person who told me to go.
Wow.
Oh, actually, one person said, if you want to pursue your profession, maybe you could do that. But otherwise, they didn't want to take responsibility. That's being responsible. Right? Every person, even today, it's basically his own decision. That's what I see. That's what I see from responsible rabbonim. I see that this is the situation. Oh, 1 second. I'll be back in 15 seconds. I'll just tell you one thing that my Rosh Yeshiva told me. I told him that I want to move to Eretz Yisrael. And he said, oh, Eretz Yisrael. You want to become an immigrant? You want to become immigrants? Like the immigrants that came from Europe to America, and they don't speak the language, and they don't know anything about the country, and they don't know about and they don't have, like they're out of it, and they, that's what you want to do. And then he told me, he said, oh, I'm going to tell you what he said in Yiddish. But Eretz Yisrael, Dorton is Olam Hazeh. He said, over there is Olam Hazeh. Olam Hazeh? Over there is Olam Hazeh? What does that mean? Over there is Olam Hazeh. That's what Olam Hazeh is for. Steiging in Torah and being Makayim mitzvahs and living with Hashem. That's what Olam Hazeh is about. But he said it's going to be hard. But over there is Olam Hazeh. So I went.
Do we know where that interference is coming from?
Who's interfering?
I don't know, but I can put my thing on silent.
Oh. Now it sounds like it's good. The Unterferen. Those are the ones that bring the chassid and the kala to the chuppah, right?
As long as no one talks, we're good.
Okay.
May I go back on just to try it, see if it's better?
See if
I
it's
don't
better.
hear any noise from my area here. I'm sort of locked in a closet, but
No, it's like electronic interference or something.
oh, maybe.
Well, right now, you're good, you're quiet.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, we want to hear your views.
Oh, okay.
Keep it quiet now. Everybody is. Okay,
Okay.
paragraph two.
So
on
now-
page- Paragraph 2 on page 60. Right?
Yeah.
All right, it's a great-
Yes, we got up to page 60.
It's a great mitzvah for the children to make every effort with all the financial means and soul, provide satisfaction for their father and mother, and transport them to Israel. This honor is greater than thousands of gold and silver coins. So far, it sounds more optimistic in paragraph 2 and paragraph 1. Likewise, a man should help his brother with great strength and power if one of them wants to relocate his home in the land of Israel. How good and pleasant is the dwelling of brothers together, where one helps the other. For his brother is like his own flesh, and it is written in Yeshayahu, and from your flesh you shall not hide. And it is also well known that great is the one who causes others to do a mitzvah.
Interesting.
Okay, well,
So the
there you
first
have it.
First paragraph is like hard to do, but then at the end of it, he says, it's well known that great is the one who causes others to do a mitzvah. Well, okay. How you doing? Let me see. Okay, I want to see where she is right now because I'm new to the sheer on the internet. So hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so there you have it. How's the parents going to make it to Eretz Yisrael? Their children can help them. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so that's what we say over here. And we go to the next paragraph. Oh, Eliezer, maybe Eliezer should read because he's just came back. Good to see you here, Eliezer. Shalom Aleichem.
Alaikum shalom, but I'm the one who's causing all the noise in the background, so I'm outside.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll pass for today.
Okay. Well, thank you for your consideration. But you are here in Eretz Yisrael now.
Came back last week.
Ah, okay, very good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Soll sein a gute Yishuv. Should be a good stay for you. Bezrat Hashem.
amen.
Okay, so now we go to Meir.
Okay, so we go to the next paragraph. It says, many are the evils that result from being an officer or designee of those who are going to Israel. Such a person needs to adjudicate with others for things that have nothing to do with him. Sometimes he needs to allow a person to fall who has suffered a financial setback. For what does a person need such trouble? In truth, it is a great mitzvah to help someone moving to Israel, but the wise man anticipates the future, and he should not end up regretting his commitment. Every clever person must act with I don't even know this word, perspicacity. I don't know what that means.
First capacity.
Oh, perspicacity. Okay. Thank you, Lou. If he is able to dismiss himself and there are others, that is good. If not, he must know that which he must do and the path which he must take. He should make conditions such that he's more likely to gain than to lose. Everything that we said applies to a stranger. However, a brother is bone of his bones and flesh of his flesh. Therefore, there is an obligation on his brothers to assist him, and it is impossible for them just to say no. Wow.
Wow.
Perspicacity is the quality of having a ready insight into things, shrewdness.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if I've ever come across that word.
Oh, the word in it's interesting.
Perspicacity.
The word that the Pele Yoetz uses in the Sefer is V'kol Orum Yaseh B'das. That's a borrowed phrase actually from Chazal, and it's interesting that word Orum is got the same shorish as someone who has no clothing, and this was the I'm not sure what the connection is with that, but actually this word Orum was used in Parshas Bereshis to describe the Nachash, Akadmoni, the primordial snake, that he was Orum Mikol Hachayos Al Pnei Adama, some language like that. He was the most Orum of all of the creatures that Hashem created on the face of the earth.
Wow.
In my English translates as clever.
Okay,
it's
so
very interesting also, Rabbi, that the same exact word is used a few psukim earlier to describe Adam and Chava.
They were Orim, V'lo Yisbosheshu.
Right.
Yeah. I have never heard anything about this connection, but it's obvious that there is one, and what the explanation is.
I heard a drush from Rabbi Lappin in Santa Monica that the word means one with nature, natural.
Oh, what, a room?
That fits into both contexts. It describes Adam and Eve as being a one with nature before they sinned, and it describes the Nachash as being one with nature.
What to use your cleverness is to be one with nature, to make use of your intellectual capacities.
Right.
And figure out in other words, with the not simply to be book smart, but to be at one with nature, so to speak, to be able to apply your smartness to life situations and be able to figure out how to do. Very good. Wow.
Shkaya.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wow. How many years ago was it that you heard that?
I would guess it was around 1984.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've remembered it all these years.
Oh, it really made a big impression on me. He was talking about the Hebrew language and how Lashon HaKodesh is, is not like English. Every word, is very precise and when you translate from Hebrew to English, you lose. This was an example of how you lose when you translate from Hebrew to English, because you don't see that it's the same word.
Right. We don't see Adam and Chava. They were perspicacity. They weren't ashamed of that either.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. All right. So So now we go on again. So we go back to Lou. Lou is the next one to read over here. Start off the second cycle.
Someone who God has granted financial success should not refrain from assisting those people who are moving to the land of Israel in accord with the extent of God's goodness to him, whether at the time of their going or by sending them gifts. It will be considered a great mitzvah. In truth, it seems that those people acting improperly who go from city to city and impose on the communities to support their moving to Israel. I'm sorry, I've lost the flow. In truth, it seems that those people act improperly who go from city to city and impose on the communities to support their moving to Israel. People speak about them saying, who asked them to impose on others so that they might go to Israel? If they do not have means of their own, they should not go. Behold, there are wealthy men, great rabbis, and outstanding sages whose resting place is in the diaspora. Is this mitzvah greater than the mitzvah of lulav or any of the other Taryag mitzvos? A person who does not have the financial means is not obliged and is not required to go begging on others' doorsteps in order to fulfill any mitzvah. In truth, our sages said, a person who thought to do a mitzvah but did not due to circumstances beyond his control is considered as if he did it. The sages also said, make your Shabbos ordinary and do not require the charity of others. I think that's the end of the paragraph.
Yes. Yeah, that looks like that's the end. That's the idea. Okay, so here we have right. So it's interesting that he first starts out saying someone who does have the means, if he helps people to be able to move to Eretz Yisrael and to be able to remain in Eretz Yisrael, he says that's a great mitzvah. So it sounds like it's a good deal for him, and because it's a worthy cause. That's what I would assume. The whole idea of tzedakah is you give your money to a worthy cause. It's a worthy cause. It's tzedakah is building. Tzedakah is to build. And this is one of the reasons why there is a priority actually in giving tzedakah, to give to people who don't have any means, but they are Shomrei Torah and mitzvahs. They are Yorei Shemayim. They learn Torah, they do mitzvahs, right? Why are they better? They're superior to people who are not Torah observant, they don't learn Torah, they don't do mitzvahs. Because that's what builds Hashem's world. And that is what tzedakah is all about. So here he starts off saying, yes, this is a great mitzvah to give your tzedakah to such a cause. And then he says, but really, in truth, the people who are endeavoring to go to Eretz Yisrael and who therefore end up having to prevail on others to impose their financial situation on others, that others should help them to be able to do that. He says that they're not obligated to do that whatsoever. That's not their obligation to go by that way to go to Eretz Yisrael. So it would seem that it's a bit of a contradiction what he's saying over here in the end of this paragraph to what he said in the beginning of the paragraph.
I'm also a little confused by this reference to a lulav. Is he saying that if you don't have enough money, you're not obligated to buy a lulav?
Correct. That's right. That's right. That's what he's saying. That is definitely what he's saying.
Is that your understanding of the halacha?
Well, actually, we have a song on Shabbos. We actually have a song on Shabbos that we sing. Here, let me get out the. This is actually the first siman in the Shulchan Aruch and Hilchos Shabbos about a person's responsibility to pay for covered Shabbos and for Shabbos observance. This is a big halachic topic over here that he's getting into over here. Oh, this person is quite insistent over here. He doesn't get the message. Okay. Okay, I'm not being able to find it. 1 second. It'll just be a second over here. I'm going to be able to find this. Yeah, it's something that we sing on Shabbos day. Yeah. So this is it says in the Zemer over here. Ulavu alai bonai. Hashem says to his children, take a halva, borrow money on my account. The idnu madonai, and therefore you will be able to have what you need for your Shabbos sudas. You'll be able to fulfill the mitzvah of covered Shabbos and Oneg Shabbos, and the presumption is that that Hashem will pay them back. And this is what it says here on the notes over here. It's a Gemara in Beitza, 15b. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Klal Yisrael, my children, borrow on my account and recite the Kiddush, and I will repay. I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back for your emunah and be talking in me to observe the Shabbos. Okay, it doesn't say go and ask somebody for a handout. It says take a loan. So, but in any case, this is one source in the Chazal about this. And I don't, if I'm not mistaken, Shabbos, the poskim say, the Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah, there's no difference between Shabbos is just an example, but this would be so of other mitzvahs as well. Let's just see over here. This is Siman Reish Mem Beis, which is the first siman in Hilchos Shabbos, which is Chelik Gimel of your Mishnah Berurah. Yeah, Chelik Gimel is the Chelik of Hilchos Shabbos. And this is the way the Shulchan Aruch starts off Hilchos Shabbos.
This
Reish Mem Beis.
Reish Mem Beis.
Yes, Reish Mem Beis.
Reish Mem.
242.
Reish Mem. Oh,
Oh, it's the very beginning.
Yeah. This is the first thing that we got to know about Hilchos Shabbos. How do we pay for it? And the way that the Shulchan Aruch, he doesn't say it as crassly as I have said it. He says the caption on this, the name of the siman is Lihi Zaher B'Kvod Shabbos. One has to be very zahir. He has to be on guard to make sure that he does everything it's in his power of what's required, what is required of him in order to fulfill the mitzvah of Kavod Shabbos, to giving honor to the Shabbos. And of course, before this is a famous Hakdama of the Mishnah Berurah to this whole section of Hilchos Shabbos. This was written by the Chafetz Chaim himself, and over there he talks himself about the importance of Shabbos observance. And part of Shabbos observance involves the mitzvah of Kavod Shabbos and the mitzvah of Oneg Shabbos, and like other mitzvahs, it costs money. So, what does he say over here? Even a person who is not self-supporting, he is someone who needs to come on to others to be able to assist him. If he has a small amount that is his own, he needs to act with zrizis and zealousness and alacrity in order to be able to honor the Shabbos.
Rabbi, when you say shetzarich la'acherim, is that referring to charity, that he's receiving charity?
That's how I would understand it. He's not self-supporting. He needs others to help him. We see over here that there's a very long Mishnah Berurah on this first few words that the Shulchan Aruch has said.
Yeah.
So this is if I remember correctly, the basic theme of the Mishnah Berurah over here is that a person who's not a person of means, and he doesn't have too very much at all, but for him, he could still fulfill this mitzvah in a very modest and humble way. right? He doesn't have to spend a lot of money. He spends the money that he has, and he buys something that he enjoys, and that's already a mitzvah of owning Shabbos and covet Shabbos. But if he doesn't have any more than that, so he should make do with that, and not borrow in order to have extravagancies and things of that sort. But that was my general understanding of what it says over there, if I remember. But he is saying, though, the Mishnah Berurah, that he should be very, like the Shulchan Aruch says. The Shulchan Aruch says, if a person does have anything that is belonging to himself available, he should use that for covet Shabbos. He should use that to honor the Shabbos. V'lo amru, continues the Shulchan Aruch, v'lo amru asay Shabbat chachol b'al titztarek lebrius. This is what the Pele Yoetz just quoted us. Make your Sabbaths mundane, and don't come on to asking others to support you in order to fulfill the mitzvah of Shabbos. Says the Shulchan Aruch, when do we say, when is it that dictum applies? How do we apply that, practically speaking? He says, Lo Amru, we don't say this dictum, Ella, except Lemi Shahasha Dechukalo Bioter. To someone who is in very, very extreme difficulty in terms of his financial situation. Al-Kain, therefore, so, and now the Shulchan Aruch says some halachic advice, which it sounds like advice, but he's telling you this is a halacha. That's why I'm writing here in the Shulchan Aruch. Sark letzamtzem b'shar yomim. A person should restrict his expenditures during the week on things which he doesn't need and are not absolute necessities. Shabbos, in order that at the end of the week he'll be able to have something, some modest amount, to be able to use that modest amount with which to honor the Shabbos. But he should, in other words, Chacham Eino Barosho. He has to be Orum. He has to act with, what's that word again?
Perspicacity.
Perspicacity. He has to act with perspicacity, and he has to be Orum. And like that, if he does that, he will be able to fulfill the mitzvah of Kavod Shabbos, and he won't need to have to come on to other people.
Rabbi, I got a little bit tied up in the words here. It says, V'lo amru, we don't say make the Shabbos, make your Shabbos ordinary.
Right.
We don't say that to the person who's very poor. Is that? Am I getting confused here?
Okay. Let's say it over again. Let's say it over again. And we do not say this dictum. This Talmudic dictum is brought in the Gemara, Psachim Yud Beis, Kuf Yud Beis. What does it say? What's the dictum? The dictum is make your Shabbos mundane, meaning to say, don't make any expenditures for Shabbos, so you won't have covet Shabbos. Okay, so you won't have it. And va'al titztarek lebrios, and as a result, and like that, you won't need to ask other people to assist you. It's more important to not ask other people to assist you, then and even at the even if it means that you won't have for Shabbos. So your Shabbos will be like a regular weekday. So says the Shulchan Aruch, when is this Talmudic dictum applied? In which case does it apply? So the Shulchan Aruch says that this applies only to someone who is in a very, very shadachukalo yoter. He's very, very depressed in his financial standing. So in other words, we don't this dictum. You have to know who it applies to. It only applies as a very, very last resort to someone who is just completely without any means whatsoever to be able to, and no hope either to he's a. It seems like he's already in great debt, and he doesn't even know how he's going to get out of the debt that he's already in, and to allow him to say, look, it's Kavod Shabbos. I need to borrow more money for Kavod Shabbos. To him, we would say, perhaps it's not even correct for you to do so.
So in other words, to that person who is extremely financially depressed, we do say, make your Shabbos chol.
I mean, that it's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says this, so it's got to apply in some situation. So what the Shulchan Aruch is doing is he's saying, don't think that this applies don't apply this dictum liberally. This is a dictum for people who are in a very unfortunate situation already. But someone who acts with even if he doesn't have too much of anything, but he can nevertheless be very, very sparing during the week in what his expenditures are, in order to allow him to have something left over on for Shabbos to be able to honor the Shabbos. Okay. So now, actually, the Mishnah Berurah over here on this point, I'll bring you another Mari Makom from. Oh, it's already too late. Okay, 11:32. All right,
Ready. Wow. Yeshkayach.
very interesting. Okay,
I guess.
all the best.
Okay. So we got
Quite a sefer. Pele Yoetz.
Yeah, someone provided it today.
Oh, he really, yeah. I mean, he tells you what he thinks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does.
Up and down, up and down.
I wanted to ask Lou, are you going to get a new sefer from this person? Because if you are, we need to buy one for Yechiel Bortz. He's been asking me to get a sefer for him.
Oh no, I gave him my extra one.
Oh, he has a sefer right now.
He has it, yeah.
Oh, you got it to him in Telstone.
Yeah, I drove over there and gave it to him. He paid
Wow.
he paid me what I paid for it.
Wow.
Very good.
Very good. Wow. Kol hakavod. Wow.
Oh, wait a second. No. I'm sorry.
It's still there.
It's the Bitachon book. That was not Pele Yoetz. I'm confused. I did not
Oh,
get
you,
it.
okay, so,
I need to go get another copy because mine is kind of not printed right.
right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'll work on that. I think
Okay.
Eliezer wants one too. Eliezer, do you also want a copy of Pele Yoetz?
Yeah, you could learn a lot of English words. It's amazing.
Perspicacity, yeah.
Okay, I think Eliezer may
Okay.
have tuned out, but okay.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that.
okay. Have
Okay,
a good
very
day,
good.
everyone.
Lou, I'll
All
call you
right.
later. Lou, I'll call you
All the
later, let
best.
you know where I stand.
All right, Rabbi, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.